All right, hello. So here is my sample of the This is ProTech Comm um, presentation that I'm asking you guys, the video presentation that I'm asking you guys to put together. Um, I'm going to try to stay within the 5 to 10 minute range, but you'll notice a couple of things about mine. Is that I try to go through the different layers and I try to explain them and how a technical communicator or a professional communicator might be a part of the consideration, or how the skills of professional and technical communication might be a part of the concept for this. All right, so here we go. So my name is Paulette Stevenson, and for my 302 project, this is professional and technical communication, I did the emergency contraceptive pill, Ella, or it could also be Aya, but I'm imagining that it's Ella. So first of all, what is it? It's an emergency contraceptive pill that is apparently that is marketed as the most effective morning after pill when the pregnancy risk is highest. Okay, so Plan B has been around since the late 90s, early 2000s, and since it became more widely available in over-the-counter formats, there's also been new versions of this that has come out. And this one, Ella, is one of them. Now, Ella is available. It is not available over the counter. It is available through prescriptions. So what I want to do today is I think there are 4 major professional and technical communication dimensions of Ella. There's certainly a lot more, but here are some things I want to think about. So there's a demographic dimension, there's a political dimension, there's a legal dimension, and an economic dimension. So the demographic dimension, for me, I see a lot on the website and in the marketing materials being targeted and marketed to one population, mainly to millennials. We see this in the labeling. So a professional and technical communicator thinking about the design of this logo chose something that is kind of hip, feminine, and definitely within a design schema for millennials, right? So a professional and technical communicator might be involved in that. There's also model choices. All the models seem to be within that early 20 range. You'll notice as we keep going, some of them, not everyone looks 100% the same. So they have women, like this woman's wearing a hat. Some of them have tattoos. They have not just white women, but women of color. So they're really going for this diversity of woman thing in the choice of model. But then also, even within that, they're picking women who have tattoos and kind of funky fashion to market to a more hipster millennial group. And again, a professional and technical communicator might have seen that within the process and said, hey, how could we branch out our division? Or here's a good way to market it to someone else, is that, this is a prescription drug. Prescription drugs aren't very sexy in any capacity, or they don't get sold a lot to younger people. So let's find a way to market this to younger people. And so bringing in models that have a diverse background could be helpful as a professional technical communicator. The naming and the branding, Ella, soft, feminine, obviously has dual meaning. And then the fact that all of this is accessible online. So if we navigated their website in front of you, you'd notice that it takes you to a place where you can basically get a doctor's prescription online and pay for this product all in the same place, which is having that accessibility is huge to a younger generation who's really interested in having things at the tip of their fingers, right? So that could also be in the design of the access, that could also be a technical communicator being brought in to do research there. And then you'll notice here, like the wording of this. It could happen to any of us. Some things don't go as planned. You've probably heard about the morning after pill and never thought you needed it, but you should know that there's an option when you have unprotected sex or a birth control mishap. Okay, so the wording is pretty benign. There's a political dimension here. In a lot of ways, the marketing material and the sort of frequently asked questions about the product tries to stay clear of the abortion debate, or tries to make sure that it's not involved in that. So you'll notice here, is Ella an abortion pill? No, emergency contraceptives like Ella work by delaying or preventing ovulation, which stops pregnancy from occurring in the first place. It won't end an existing pregnancy. And then they compare that. So there was a conscious effort to directly compare it to the function of the abortion pill. So no, this is not firmly an abortion. And a lot of the wording is to focus on women and their choices. So we see a lot of women's faces for the marketing, and then, even just, it was like an unfortunate mishap was the wording in the last slide. And then the other thing too is, even by it, the other thing that this does, the political context here, is it assumes there's a lot of information on the website about affecting pregnancy in the future. And the way that this is wording, your chances of becoming pregnant will return rapidly after use of Ella for emergency conception. Ella is not a regular contraceptive pill, so it will not protect you against future acts. So in kind of steering clear of the abortion thing, but then also saying no, and making sure they answer all these questions, a technical communicator might be involved in trying to help wade these gray waters and word these, because it could be seen as a real big negative if it was if this pill was kind of linked to the abortion pill, and then also answering that question up front about becoming pregnant in the future kind of assumes that that these women would think about that in the future. And again, it's not the case that all of that, but it's a very friendly and inviting environment for women who want this choice. And that's what I think the political dimension of Ella is created, and a technical communicator might be involved in doing research and helping the company kind of chart these different territories. The legal aspect. So it's a pill, right? It has to have that information available somewhere, and it's literally one of the big things there is a big pop-up here on the website. So it's designed even though the website is really kind of feminine and soft and unassuming, and you've had a mishap, or and you have this choice, they've designed this website not to hide the side effects in any capacity, but they literally pop up at the bottom. So there's the legal stuff kind of hits you in the face right away, probably the stuff that they're required by law to put on there somewhere. So that could be an interesting choice for a technical communicator, is perhaps the company wants to really show the risks right up front. Is they don't want people to buy it and then use it and then be harmed by this pill and say, hey, where were the risks? And then end up in a legal fight with somebody where it's like, no, it was on the website, it's just buried. It's literally right here. So I think that's important. Just the way that the website is set up to highlight the risks and the side effects, I think has, we see kind of a legal dimension of professional and technical communication. And then finally, there's an economic dimension here. So it is about a $67 pill. It's one pill. So you need a prescription. You can order it online through this third-party website that the site links with. And then in some capacity, the Affordable Care Act allows for 100% of coverage of prescription birth control, but you must see an actual doctor. So in thinking through this, a technical communicator might have that. I think that might have been the biggest role of a technical communicator, to think through the economics, is how do we get this to people in an affordable capacity? And what they did is they partnered with this nonprofit that helps women get prescriptions for the Ella at the same time where they can order it online. So there's kind of this online doctor thing here. Now, they don't do that, so they kind of take you to a third-party website. But they also, a lot of prescription drugs, how often do you know right up front what this prescription drug costs? It's not on their website, but it's easily accessible through this third-party website. It's linked to their site, so there's no hidden costs. You know how much this costs if you want to order it online. And then if you were just doing that research to go to a doctor, that stuff is pretty apparent. So I think that's also a communication choice, is on the website communicating to the audience how much this costs in some capacity is much different than other drugs. And it's there. So again, these are the different dimensions I see operating, the things where technical and professional communicators might be brought in to make these choices, or people doing these jobs. Maybe, you are a lawyer and you need to, you write the legal stuff, but as a lawyer, you're advocating for what I would call a professional and technical communication choice by putting the legal stuff up front. Okay? So that is my example of the This is Protect Comm presentation. Pretty simple stuff, slideshow, really going through the different dimensions. You can conclude as many dimensions as you'd like. I went through 4, and I think I probably hit 10 minutes, or maybe a little bit more than 10 minutes, but I think that's safe to say. And I explained all the different parts of my different 4 as well. So cool. Well, thanks. I'm looking forward to seeing these. Oh, I guess I had one more slide. I'm sorry. So at the end, the last final thing I was going to do is kind of do a conclusion. So these are some decisions that a professional and technical communicator would have the marketing, the packaging, the design of the clinical trials, the website, the logos, the color screen, and the distribution. And here's another picture of sort of this is the one with the tattoo and then the hair braids that, again, it's not completely different, but it's not the average model. So they're taking a little bit of a, this isn't a J. Crew catalog as much. So anyway, sorry about that last slide. Anyway, this is my ProTech Comm. Looking forward to hearing yours.